beneath the surface of your thoughts, beneath the noise you believe is you. There is something older, something darker, something quieter than anything you've ever tried to hear. It does not speak in words. It does not argue. It does not care about the story you tell yourself about who you are. It waits. It waits for the day you stop distracting yourself long enough to notice its presence. And when you do, it does not emerge. Gently it floods your awareness, as if it had been pressing at the edges of your mind for years, waiting for the smallest crack in your defenses. You've walked with it every day of your life without knowing. In the middle of conversations, it is there, listening from somewhere behind your eyes. In your quiet moments, it leans in closer, almost touching your thoughts, but never announcing itself. And when you make choices, you cannot explain choices. You tell yourself were mistakes or impulses. That is often when it takes the wheel. You don't notice because you are too quick to cover the moment with reasons. You are too quick to explain yourself to yourself, as if your conscious mind is a public relations department working for something much older and much less concerned with appearances. There are doors inside you that you have never opened. You think you know why they lead to pain, to fear, to memories you'd rather leave buried. But what you do not understand is that they also lead to power, to clarity, to an understanding of yourself that would dismantle the fragile scaffolding of your current identity. You are afraid, not because of what you might remember, but because of what you might become once you remember it. Every truth you have avoided has been shaping you in the dark, bending your life around its hidden gravity. There are moments when you almost meet it, when a smell from childhood rips through you like lightning, bringing with it the strange, inexplicable weight of a forgotten afternoon. When you see someone's face for the first time, and something in you feels you have met them before, though you cannot place when or where. When you wake in the middle of the night with a word on your lips that you have never spoken in your life, these are its fingerprints. The unconscious has no need to introduce itself, it reminds you instead. In fragments, in flashes, in symbols your waking mind struggles to decode. You think you are the sum of your memories, but you are more the sum of your forgotten ones. The events you recall are like photographs hung neatly in a hallway, but the real architecture of who you are lies in the rooms you never enter, where the photographs are hidden, where the floorboards creak under the weight of something you once saw but refused to understand. The unconscious is patient. It does not need you to look. It will continue to arrange your life in ways that lead you back to it, again and again, until you notice the pattern. Why do you feel drawn to certain places without explanation? Why do you mistrust certain people the instant you meet them? Why do you sabotage things you claim to want? These are not random flaws in your character. They are the language of the thing inside you, the secret that even you don't know. It whispers through your instincts, your dreams, your sudden changes of mood. It is not trying to ruin you. It is trying to lead you somewhere you are too afraid to go. There is a reason you keep repeating the same mistakes, a reason your relationships tend to orbit the same painful themes, a reason you are drawn to the same kinds of stories, the same kinds of characters, the same kinds of endings. The patterns you notice in your life are not coincidences. They are trails left by the part of you that refuses to be forgotten. Every time you follow them, you get a little closer. Every time you turn away, the trail fades, and you tell yourself it was meaningless. The deepest truths about you are not stored in facts or clear memories, they are stored in symbols. Your mind hides them in dreams, in images, in fears that seem irrational when you try to explain them. That is because symbols cannot be explained without losing their power. They are not meant to be flattened into language. They are meant to be felt. When you dismiss them, you shut the door on the most direct messages your deeper self ever sends you. You think of your unconscious as a shadow, but it is more like a mirror. It shows you everything you refuse to see about yourself by placing it outside you, in the people you dislike, in the situations you avoid, in the traits you condemn in others. Every person you cannot stand is a fragment of yourself you have disowned. Every fear you cannot name is a truth you have locked away. This is why you cannot escape it, because you carry it into every room you enter. Sometimes it tries to speak to you directly. This usually happens in the spaces between wakefulness and sleep, when your conscious guard is weak. You hear a voice that seems like yours, but isn't. You see a face you cannot place, but know you've seen before. You feel the weight of an emotion so sharp and specific it must have a story behind it, though you cannot recall the plot. These are not accidents. These are meetings. And if you pay attention long enough, you begin to see that the thing inside you is not entirely separate from you. It is you. The version of you that has lived everything you have forgotten. You cannot meet it without sacrifice. To approach it, you must give up the safety of the story you tell about yourself. You must let go of the idea that you are a fixed being with a clear history and an unbroken line of cause and effect. You must be willing to dissolve into the parts of you that scare you most. And this is why most people never truly meet themselves. They prefer the comfort of being partly known to the terror of being completely revealed. But the truth is that you have already met it. In moments so quick, you dismiss them as nothing. The flash of rage that felt too big for the situation. The overwhelming sadness you felt in a place you had never been before. The way your body sometimes moves before your mind has decided what to do. These are signs that the deeper part of you is not sleeping, is always watching, always moving beneath the surface, shaping your life in ways you may never admit to yourself. Buried desires live there too. Desires you have not allowed yourself to feel because they do not fit the person you are trying to be. Some of them are wild and destructive, others are pure and luminous, but all of them are powerful. The danger is not in the desires themselves, but in the fact that you keep them hidden. Anything locked away for too long will find a way to escape, often in forms you cannot control. This is why the unconscious is both a source of creation and destruction. It gives life to your most brilliant moments and your most disastrous choices. The secret inside you is not a single fact. It is a network of truths, tangled and layered, that cannot be reduced to one sentence. It contains the child you once were, the lives you have imagined but never lived, the people you might have been if you had made one different choice. It contains your shame and your pride, your wounds and your wonders, your hidden strength and your unacknowledged weakness. It is the part of you that will not be managed, will not be domesticated, will not be turned into a version of yourself that others can easily understand. When you begin to open to it, the world changes. Not because the world itself is different, but because you finally see the invisible threads connecting everything you do, everything you feel, everything you avoid. You begin to notice how certain events seem to circle back into your life, as if time were folding in on itself. You begin to see how your present choices are often attempts to rewrite your past. You begin to suspect that the people you meet are not strangers at all, but carriers of pieces of your own story that you have yet to claim. It is tempting to think of this as a quest, to imagine yourself delving into the hidden layers of your mind to retrieve a treasure. But the truth is harder. The treasure is not something you can hold. It is the undoing of the person you thought you were. To claim it, you must let yourself be remade by the very truths you have been running from. You must face the possibility that you are not who you believe, that your deepest self may be a stranger to you, and yet, somewhere inside, you know this is the only way forward. You know that every distraction, every shallow comfort, every repeated mistake is just a way to delay the meeting. You know that the moment you finally turn toward it, everything will change, not in the way you expect, but in the way you have always needed. It is there now, just behind the edges of your awareness, watching you read these words. It has been with you in every room, in every choice, in every heartbeat you have ever felt. You cannot lose it. You cannot destroy it. You can only choose whether to keep pretending you don't hear it or to finally listen. And if you do, you may discover that the secret inside you is not here to hurt you. It is here to return you to yourself.